Do I use creatine? Yeah, I use creatine all the time. What's up, guys? Welcome back. This is Trent from xFit. If you're new to this channel, you might want to consider subscribing so you can be notified when I have all the new content coming out every week. Alright, let's get started. I wanted to talk a little bit about creatine. It's been kind of a popular subject in my area lately. When I first got into shape, when I first started my fitness journey, I didn't take any supplements. I didn't know what was available and I didn't know what any of them did. I did get great results. I lost my big fat belly and I got washboard abs and I lost my love handles and all the stuff that we want to do. But it was after my first initial transformation. I wanted to take it to the next level. So when I did research on what supplements I can take, creatine, that was the big thing. If you're wondering what creatine is and does, I'm here to tell you. Creatine is a substance that's already found in your muscles. It helps and supports muscle growth, muscle repair, muscle function. I mean, creatine is great. When you take extra creatine, it takes that the next step further. Because it's helping with muscle function and muscle growth, it's also acting as an indirect fat burner. You know, the whole idea where when you have more muscle, your body is more efficient at burning fat. That was a big selling point for me. There's a lot of naysayers who would make videos and blog about it and say, oh, creatine is just water weight. You know, that's only partially true. See, what happens here is when you take creatine, certain cells in your body grab the water and they blow up like little tiny water balloons and they travel through your blood. Now, in my opinion, this is a good thing. When you're having muscle contractions and you're doing heavyweight resistance and you get water into the mix of blood, that's more nutrition, that's more oxidation, that's a lot of good stuff happening there. You want water. Water's going to help with repair. Water's going to help with fueling. Water's going to help with growth. A neat thing here that I discovered after taking creatine. Let's say you're doing bicep curls, for argument's sake. And you're getting up to 8 or 10 reps or something and it starts to burn, it starts to get hard, it starts to get heavy. That's because in your muscles, when you have muscle contraction, you're creating something called lactic acid. And it's actually burning. You ever heard the term, feel the burn? That's where that comes from. When you have creatine or water in your blood, that means you have a lactic acid buffer, so you can really get those extra reps in. So if you have it set, you need to do 10 reps, it starts to burn. When you're on creatine, you can get 11 or 12. You can get those extra ones. You can get the extra muscle function, the extra tear, and that's where you really get the results. That's where you get the growth, when you go past what you thought you couldn't do. However, you can't just take creatine and think you're going to get big. You really have to eat healthy and you have to exercise properly. Creatine is a supplement. It supplements all the things that you do to get the results that you want. A few years back, I worked at the General Nutrition Center, where we sold all different supplements. I would sit there all day when we didn't have any customers and I would just read all the labels of all the supplements so I could gain all the knowledge I could on all the different brands and supplements. The idea of when to take creatine has changed so much throughout the years. Originally, creatine was meant to be taken right before your exercise. A little while after that, it was released that creatine can be taken after your exercise. If you research it now, on Google or whatever, you're going to find that you can take creatine before or during or after. It doesn't matter when you take creatine. It's a cool thing. It's really, there's no learning curve to when you need to take it. Another question I receive is, can women take creatine like men can take creatine? Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no hormonal thing happening there with creatine. It's just muscle health. The kinds that I have tried in the past are so many. There's Crealkaline, there's Concrete, there's Best Creatine by BPI, there's Beast Creature, which is one that I prefer. I think creatine is all vegan. I always make sure, and I actually reached out and asked BPI if they were vegan, the creatine, and they were like, yeah. So when I take my creatine, I put it in with my pre-workout and I have it right before I exercise. And then later, sometimes if I'm in a loading phase, loading is when you're starting a creatine and you want to get a lot in. I put it in my magnesium and calcium and I have it at night. You can drink or you can have creatine before you go to bed. It doesn't matter. It's a non-stimulant type of thing. So you're not going to really feel much different after you take it. You're only going to notice that it's working while you're working out. What you're going to want to go for is a creatine monohydrate. There's other types of creatine brands where they repackage all these, fillers and nitrates and flavors and this and that. For creatine to work really well, you don't really need all that extra stuff. Creatine shouldn't cost you that much money. $20 for a month's worth. So it's been my experience in the whole world of supplements. Creatine is awesome. If you're looking to take your fitness to the next level, pack on some muscle, burn some fat, which I know we all want to do, to help you start feeling good and looking good, creatine's perfect. Try it out. I'll put a link in the description below to the creatine that I prefer. Of course, the creatine I prefer changes all the time, but the one I'm using this week, you can check it out. So if you want to take your fitness to the next level, you want to build some muscle, burn a little fat, start feeling good and looking good, creatine's a perfect way to go.